morning, YouTube. Today we're going to go back into the late 50s with another jazz tune. This isn't a smooth jazz, this is a regular jazz tune. My Funny Valentine was a song from the late 30s, and it was recorded by Chet Baker in the late 50s, a jazz trumpeter. And he did a great song, and this is just a slow, smoky jazz. Very easy song. Guitars in standard tuning. Like before, I'm going to play a snippet of the song, and then I'm going to show you how to play this great tune. My Funny Valentine, sweet comic Valentine, you make me smile with my heart. Is your figure less than Greek? Is your mouth a little weak? When you open up to speak, are you smart? Okay, let's talk about how to play this great tune. As I said before, the guitar itself is in standard tuning. No real issues there. This is a real slow, smoky jazz song. So you need to really go slow on this. It's a finger-picking song as I play it. And the chords are relatively clear-cut jazz chords. So let's go ahead and start. The song starts on a C minor, okay? It's this whole song is in C minor. And a C minor is made by putting your first finger over all the strings on the 3rd fret. And then you put your middle finger on the 4th fret of the B string, and then you put your ring finger on the 5th fret of the D string, and your little finger on the 5th fret of the G string. Now you're just playing from the 5th string down, so it's... You're just basically plucking the middle 4 strings. So that's how you get that C minor sound. So you're going to go. So you're just doing a kind of a very slow pick. Okay? And that's, let me just show you the pick. It's, you pluck the bass string on the 5th string, and then you're going to just walk down. You walk down 3, so you go to D, G, B, and then back to G. So it's... Okay? The second chord in the song, the first of the verse itself, is a C minor major 7th. Now, a C minor major 7th is a fairly easy chord, too. It's from the same position. You basically still put your finger across all the strings on the 3rd fret, first finger, and then you put your middle finger on the 4th fret of the G string. Then you put your ring finger on the 4th fret of the B string, and then you put your little finger on the 5th fret of the D string. So you get the C minor major 7th sound. So it's little variation, so it's C minor to C minor major 7th. And then the next chord is a C minor 7th, which is again the same position. Keep your first finger over all the strings of the 3rd fret. You put your middle finger on the 4th fret of the B string, and then you put your ring finger on the 5th fret of the D string. That's a C minor 7th, okay? And then the 4th chord of the first line is a C minor 6th. So this little chord progression really just sort of walks down the different chords of C minor. So the C minor 6th is made by putting your middle finger on the 3rd fret of the A string. Then you put your first finger on the 2nd fret of the G string. And then you put your little finger on the 4th fret of the B string. Okay? Now that's a really off-centered chord, But the way it sounds, let me play it really slowly here for the first line. So I'll just play it really slowly. C, and call out the chords. C minor, C minor major 7th, C minor 7th, C minor 6th. Okay? And you're just doing that same little picking pattern to go down that chord progression. Okay? The second line of the verse, it starts with an A flat major 7th. Now an A flat major 7th is made by putting your first finger on the 4th fret of the low E string. Then you put your middle finger on the 4th fret of the B string, and then you put your ring finger on the 5th fret of the D string and your little finger on the 5th fret of the G string. And you don't want to play the 5th string because that's not really involved here. So you're going to get this sound. The A flat major 7th. Same picking pattern. So it's you make me, and then it's going to go to an F minor 7th, which is in the first position. Lay your first finger over all the strings with your first finger on the 1st fret. Then you put your ring finger on the 3rd fret of the A string. You make me smile, F minor 7th. Then you're going to go to a D minor 7th with a flattened 5th. Now that's made up here on the 5th fret. You put your first finger on the 5th fret of the A string. You put your ring finger on the 5th fret of the G string. You put your ring finger on the 6th fret of the D string, and your little finger is on the 6th fret of the B string. And so it's one of those sort of, I don't know, it's kind of an off-centered, can go with pretty much any key. So this is a D minor 7th flattened 5th. With my heart. And then you resolve it by going to G 7th, which is in the 3rd fret. Put your first finger over all the strings on the 3rd fret. You put your ring finger on the 3rd fret of the A string and your middle finger on the 4th fret of the G string. And you want to make sure you get that bass in there. So it's resolved from a D minor 7th flattened 5th. With my heart, D minor 7th flattened 5th to a G7. Okay, the third line is exactly a repeat, starts out on the C minor. Your looks are laughable, C minor, major 7th, C major 7th, unphotographable, C minor 6th, A flat major 7th, yet you're my favorite, F minor 7th to a D minor 7th, flattened 5th, resolved to a G7th. Okay, now you're going to get to the chorus itself. And there's a little bit of a key change in here, so it's sometimes a little tough to sing, at least for me. It starts out on an E flat major 7th. Now the E flat major 7th I like to play is the one up here on the 6th fret. You put your first finger on the 6th fret of the A string. You put your, let me make sure I got that. Oh, there you go. You put your middle finger on the 7th fret of the G string, your ring finger on the 8th fret of the D string, and your little finger on the 8th fret of the B string, and you're just playing the middle 4 strings. So it's an E flat major 7th. Is your figure, and then you're going to go quickly to a G7th, which I showed you before, less than Greek. Now the third chord of the first line of the chorus is an F minor 9th, no 5th. Now an F minor 9th, no 5th is made by putting your middle finger on the 8th fret of the A string, your ring finger on the 8th fret of the G string, your little finger on the 8th fret of the B string, and then you put your pointer finger here on the 6th fret of the D string. And you're just plucking the middle 4 strings. So you get the F minor 9th, no 5th sound. So let's hear how that sounds together. So it's A flat or E flat major 7th to G7. So let me kind of sing that. I know it'll hurt your ears, but is your figure less dressed in Greek. Same thing, second line. Is your mouth a little weak? Third line's very similar. Starts out on an E flat major 7th. When you open up, E flat major 7th to a G 7th, and then you're going to go back to the C minor, just like I've showed you before. Speak. Okay. Then you're going to go to an A flat major 7th. Are you smart? Just like I showed you before. To a D minor, so it's A flat major 7th to a D minor 7th flat and 5th. Resolve to a G 7th. Now you're home free. Now you're back to the second verse. So don't change a thing for me. Not if you care for me. Okay? Now the chords used in the second verse are a little bit different than we talked about before, simply because of the vocal emphasis on closing out the song. So let me do this. I will play the song completely, the second verse, and then I will explain to you the chords that are used. So it's, but don't change a hair for me. Not if you care for me. Stay, little Valentine. Stay. Each day is Valentine's Day. Okay, so let's talk about how to play that the second verse and the way he closes out the song. First line is very similar, is exactly the same as the first verse. So it's C minor to C minor major 7th, C minor 7th to C minor 6th, just like I showed you before. Now the second line, he tries to emphasize this. It starts out on an A flat major 7th. Stay. He goes to A flat major 7th to a D minor 7th flat and 5th. Little Valentine, and resolves it to a G 7th, just like I showed you before. And then he goes to a second emphasis, starts on a C minor. Stay. And then it's going to go to a B flat minor 7th, which is made by putting your first finger across all the strings of the 6th fret, and then your ring finger on the 8th fret of the A string. So it's B flat minor 7th, resolved to a A7th. And the A7th is made on the 5th fret, putting your first finger over all the strings of the 5th fret, your ring finger on the 7th fret of the A string, and your middle finger on the 6th fret of the G string. So it's a resolution, and let me just play that line again. So it's C minor, B flat. Okay, got that? So it's C minor, B flat minor 7th, resolved to an A7. Now the last line, very important last line. So it starts out on an A flat major 7th. Each day. And then he goes to the F minor 9th, no 5th, which I showed you before. Valentine's. And then he goes to the D minor 7th, flat and 5th. Okay. And then back to C minor. Day. And very slowly he closes it down, going to C minor, major 7th. And then back to C minor. So let me play that last line. I'll sing it and show you how he closes it out. So, all right. Each day is Valentine's Day. And he just ends it right there. Okay, folks, that's how you play the Chet Baker late 50s version of My Funny Valentine. This is a jazz standard, and it is a song that you absolutely must know how to do. It's great if you can get a lady to sing it. A guy with a deep, smoky voice will really make this sound great too, just like Chet Baker. So as before, if you have any questions about this or any of the other videos that I've posted, video tutorials, leave me a question or a comment on my YouTube channel, and I'll catch you later.